I think that's the one. What time is it? Hello? Hello, John? Now, you emailed my company a few weeks back requesting information on computers that had huge upside potential with very little downside risk. Does that ring a bell? Yeah, I think I did send some sort of email. Okay, great. The reason for today's call, John, is that something just came across my desk, which is perhaps the best thing I've seen in the last 6 years. And if you got a couple of minutes, I'd love to share the idea with you. It's going to change your life, John. John? Hello? So the M4 Mac Mini has been released, and I wasn't actually planning on purchasing one or testing one out. However, seeing the amount of content online and people talking about it so much, I had to see what the hype was about. Because for me, I've been an Apple user for a long time. I've used their iPhones for a long time. When I started this channel, I used an iPad. Then I moved over to a MacBook Air. Now I've got the M1 Max MacBook Pro, which does everything I needed to do without any issues or hiccups at all. But I've never actually used a Mac Mini, which may be the same situation for some of you out there. However, for that price tag of $599 for the base version and then $499 for students, this could be a contender for one of the best computers, not just Apple, but best computers for 2024. So let's check it out and see what it's all about. Now, just looking back, say 10 years of what computers were like compared to now, you can just imagine how bulky they was, and they didn't even pack a quarter of the power that's in this machine right now. And we have to give it to Apple. I mean, they know how to make a nice looking machine, and not only is it nice looking, it's small and it is super powerful. Now, this is the base spec, so it's 16 gig of RAM, which is a nice jump what they've done from the previous base specs of 8 gig of RAM. And then you do get 256 gigabytes of storage. Of course, both of them can be upgraded. So I think something we can both agree on is Apple know how to make a good looking device. And whether that's the iPad, the MacBook, or the Mac Mini, it's definitely not going to be an eyesore putting this on your desk. Something they have done is put the power button on the bottom rear, which a lot of people have been having complaints about. But for me personally, I don't think that's such a big issue, because when it comes to Apple Mac devices, you don't really turn them off that often. You'll put them more into sleep standby mode, and then you'll wake them up with your mouse or keyboard. I know with my MacBook, I don't think I've ever actually turned it off, and it's only been restarted when it needs to do an update. That's just the way Macs are built, I guess. And when it comes to these as well, the M1 chips are so power efficient even when they're running, that when you put them in the standby and sleep mode, you won't even notice it. And then you'll just give a little wiggle or click on your mouse or tap your keyboard, and you'll be in the system very quickly, up and running to do what you need to do. Now on the front, we do get two USB-C 3 ports capable of 10 gigabits per second data transfer speeds, which some people prefer no ports on the front. I think it's a good idea they've put these two on the front, because they're good for quickly connecting a mouse, keyboard, or an external SSD to the front of the device, or just charging your phone with a cable. And they don't look that bad, especially with their USB-C. If there was USB-A, that would be a different story. Then we've got a 3.5mm headphone jack and a little LED on there as well. On the back, we do get 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports capable of running 3 monitors on this machine. And you've got an extra HDMI port, a gigabit Ethernet port, which you can upgrade to 10 gigabit if you pay the extra money when you customize it, and then the power port. And that's essentially it. You don't get a lot of ports on here. Now, if that is an issue for you, you can always connect a hub or some sort of dock to the system. I currently use the Vanke dock for my MacBook, which has all the connections I would possibly ever need, including the Thunderbolt ports on the front, memory card ports, etc. But you can always connect something to the Thunderbolt 4 ports on the back, which give you 40 gigabyte transfer speeds. And for $599, I don't think you're going to get a better bang for your buck when it comes to this machine. Now, of course, you don't get a keyboard, a mouse, anything like that in the box. All you really get is this power cord, which is I think 1.8 meters long. And you don't even get a Thunderbolt cable or HDMI cable. Generally, these are things that people have laying around, whether it be an extra monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, something like that. If you don't have that, right now is a good time to grab yourself one of these, and then Black Friday sales are right around the corner, so you can grab yourself a keyboard, mouse, and a monitor, and have the complete system for a very, very good price. Now, even if you don't get it on Black Friday, you get it some other times, you can generally get pretty good deals on keyboards and mice, or just get the Apple ones. If you want a whole Apple ecosystem, you can get the new Apple mouse, which is a USB-C one, Apple keyboard, or the trackpad, and now they've all been updated to USB-C. And personally, I'm not a fan of the Apple mouse because the charging port's on the bottom. I much prefer the Logitech MX Master 3S, and if you're a content creator or doing any type of editing, I would really advise this mouse. It's so ergonomic, but we'll talk about that another time. Some people might even be confused of the Mac Mini and think it's an Apple TV. It looks very similar, although it's a little bit larger. It's definitely not an Apple TV, so bear that in mind. This is a full computer. Don't think this is a toy. This is a fully functional, powerful computer for $599. And like I said, if you're a student, you get it for $499. It's so hard to comprehend how much stuff is actually in here when you look at the size of this thing. And if you was to try and replicate what's in here with an actual Windows PC or something, I think it would be very hard to squeeze all that into something of this form factor and get the same performance out of it. I'm going to be doing stress tests and other tests and gaming tests because I'm really curious if this can actually game on this, because I haven't tested it on my MacBook, but this base model is, I'm really interested in what it's capable of. Forget about all the upgrades you can do to it, more RAM, more storage, stuff like that. It's the base model I'm interested in because I think it's going to be the most popular one of what people are getting. If not, maybe just upgrading the storage that a little bit. But don't forget to subscribe down below. Hit the like button on the video if you liked it. Share with your friends and family, because for $599, I don't think you're going to find something better than this. And we're definitely going to find out what it's capable of. The MacBook's going away and this is going to be plugged in for the time being. So let's see what it's capable of, and I will catch you on the next video.